So were you born and raised in the Central Valley?
I was born in Oakland, California.
Oakland?
Yeah.
Oh,
I would know.
Yeah. I moved to the Valley when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up in Oakland?
It's cool. It was cool because you just see a different perspective, you know. We had a great upbringing.
Okay.
But, didn't come from a lot of money.
Which part of Oakland?
The hood, 96.
Oh, really?
96 and 8th Street. Yeah, that's
right?
deep east.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it puts a lot of perspective in life because now seeing how, I've seen people raised a certain way, and now seeing the way I was walking through these streets, and now looking at him now, I'm like, son of a gun, I lived here.
Yeah.
I was in Oakland last week. I had an appointment out there, and to see that and just to, just go down memory lane, it's amazing because it makes you seem like you came far. But when you're raised in that, that's what you know, and you make the best of it. So it's exciting to see how far, where I've came, and it's fulfilling.
Yeah, you mentioned something which is really important. Like when you're raised in it and you don't know anything else, like you don't know, like I'm living in the hood. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just think this is where I live. You know what I mean? This any crazy experiences that happened to you when you were young, growing up in that area?
Seeing fights all the time, but nothing. Our family. That's the thing about our family. We were very, very close. So my dad always took care of us. I think that's where I got really my work ethic from my dad. He never complained about anything. He worked very, very hard. Did landscaping on the weekends as well. So he was constantly providing for us. So I think that was huge.
Okay,
that was huge.
So the family unit kind of kept you guys safe and away from really understanding that you're in. Is that East Oakland?
That's East, man. Yeah.
East side. Oh,
yeah, it's crazy, huh?
Yeah. So talking about your family, right? Tell us a little bit about like your parents. You said your father was very hardworking. You have siblings.
Yeah, very hardworking. My dad worked for Union Pacific for multiple years, over 20 plus years. And now my father has his own diesel mechanic shop. He owns his own diesel mechanic shop in Stockton.
Okay.
My mother, she owned her own shop in Oakland.
Okay.
Right down the street, like on International Boulevard. So that entrepreneur mindset was kind of bred in me from my mother, seeing her own a business and having people work for multiple chairs, and I was raised in that. And then my dad, years after that, then had his own business now, and it was kind of just like this default. I'm gonna be a business owner. I don't know anything else. I haven't worked too much. I tried to work for 3 months, and I just quit because I just couldn't. Bred for bigger things, man.
Do you have any siblings?
I have an older brother, I have an older sister, and I have a younger sister.
Okay.
So I guess I'm the
you're kind of the middle, but not really. Because there's even amount. You said something important, because everybody that I've had on the podcast that's been an entrepreneur, they had an example young. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they just decided, like maybe their parents worked at jobs their whole life, and all of a sudden they're like, I'm just becoming an entrepreneur, right? It was either like a family member, or they saw something that sparked that entrepreneurial spirit. So pretty much just like what you said, it's your parents. That, like you said, like you did the job for how long?
3 months. I worked at Restoration Hardware in Tracy, just waking up at 2-3 a.m. in the morning, loading up 53-foot trailers. And then I also worked Big League Dreams in Manteca as kind of like a little greeter in the front for not too long too.
I've seen that. That's like a softball complex.
Yeah. It's huge. It's really a cool complex.
But it looks like a professional major league stadium.
Because they Fenway and all these different parks, they paint them correctly according to how they would look. So it's pretty cool.
How old were you in your first job?
First job, I was probably 21.
So you knew like 9 to 5 wasn't for you?
No, basically. I never even thought about going to college. I was like, people, if you go to college, you're rich, is what I think. I was like, that's for rich people. I never even thought it was an option to go to college. Just because I was like, I'm just gonna go. I don't want my parents to spend that much money. It's what I thought. I'm like, that's messed up. People go to college and they pay a lot of money. Wow, that's crazy.
End up in debt.
So I didn't know any, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe I should have gone to college. I would have been a lot smarter.
Well, I don't know. You're an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
You said that rich people go to college. I think it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
It's entrepreneurs that end up wealthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think 50 Cent, he has a really cool meme. It says, I never went to Harvard, but a lot of people that work for me did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Yeah, and he's like a billionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay.
You hire those people to work for you. Yeah.
Exactly, right? So, Now you said you were 12 when you moved to the Central Valley?
Yeah, 12. Yeah.
12 what was it that sparked your family to move from Oakland to the Central Valley?
So my dad worked at Union Pacific, and he was basically the diesel technician there, taking care of all the cranes and all the mechanical equipment. Obviously, they were all diesel engines. And then once they opened the another Union Pacific in Lathrop, Lathrop, French camp, Lathrop French camp, they relocated my dad over here. They told him, hey, we're gonna, we want you to help establish that new location. And my dad took the leap. He's all right. And then we're moving over here. My uncle was already living over here.
Okay.
And I remember just going over that Altamont, you seen those lights coming down. You're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Yeah.
We'd go over like every weekend, and I thought it was unbelievable.
Really?
And my uncle lived at a pretty nice suburb and everything. I just remember going, just seeing this, and I was like, this is awesome. This is rich people homes.
Yeah.
Being a kid, you're saying, wow.
Yeah, especially
nice
coming from Oakland.
Yeah.
So it was a different environment.
Yeah,
for you.
obviously the houses are built different,
Yeah.
newer
All
and everything.
brand
new.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what is this? They're all lined up so perfect. There's the lights, they're all lit
track
up.
homes.
Yeah, and I was like, this is amazing. And then finding out we're moving over there was absolutely amazing.
So it was actually a positive thing for you.
Yeah. I honestly, I think I don't. You never know, where I would have been if I would have stayed there. Maybe the mindset would have been different.
Yeah.
Right.
Who knows? I would have maybe been involved with the wrong people. Who knows?
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason.
For a reason, yeah.
And obviously you were meant for something bigger and better.
Yeah,
right?
I guess, yeah.
So what was it like growing up, like with your siblings? There's 4 of you guys, so
it was great. I was always so close to my brother.
Okay.
Always looking up to big brother. I want to do what my brother's doing.
Yeah.
I want to be as cool as my brother.
Yeah.
Always that. And always trying to perform. Always trying to perform to I want to be accepted. I want to be a part of something. And I never did. I was never the cool guy.
Yeah.
I was the guy that girls would say, yeah, I want to go on a date with you, and then lie to me, or hey, you
really?
want to be my boyfriend? Yeah. And then all of a sudden at the end of the recess, I was kidding. I'm like, oh shoot, man, I was that guy. I was trying always to fit in, and I never could, man.
Yeah,
I tried so hard.
Meant to fit in.
I guess not.
Yeah.
I was always different.
Yeah.
Always.
Was this in high school or middle school?
This was in grade school.
Grade school.
Even in high school, I don't think I even felt a certain mold. Like I was always hanging out with the popular guys. I did my own thing. I always did my own thing, and it just kind of, I guess it's just the way it is. My whole life, I'm gonna do my own thing. So stepping into that, taking a risk, open up a business, it was just, that's all I've known.
Yeah.
I always saw things a lot different. I remember the other day I was taking a shower, and I was just looking. I remember when I was a kid, I went to private school in Oakland, and I would always I'd be in, it was a, Catholic school, and we'd have mass before class and everything. And I remember all the kids would be paying attention. I would just be dazing, looking around, always looking at bigger things, looking outside the window, just imagining things, and just always daydreaming, just thinking of other things, trying to, never in the moment, I was always thinking about other things, man, I wonder if I can do this. And I always imagine, what if an amazing bird just flew in there and took me away? I don't want to be here. I always thought
wow,
beyond. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
As a kid, I mean, that's what.
It's your imagination, basically.
Yeah. That was
Taking
my,
you places.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was in first grade. What kind of first, second grade? I remember always looking behind me and pretend I'm not, I'm different than everybody.
Yeah.
Always.
It's not ADD, it's imagination.
Yeah. I always imagine, always thinking what can I do? What can I, looking at the next thing, First grade, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned something which is kind of cool. You said you mentioned you went to private school when you were in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in the East Side the first 10 years of my life in San Jose, which is not the best area of San Jose.
Yeah.
But I went to private school.
Really? Yeah.
So I didn't see the true East Side. You know what I mean? Because I was sheltered in the private school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they say there's something private school education is completely light years ahead of public school, right? Mm-hmm. But maybe that's another reason why you are where you're at now, because you weren't in the mix of the public schools of Eastside Oakland, right?
Yeah.
And it probably taught you things, but that's very unique. You mentioned a couple things. You're very creative, always thinking,
always
never to fit the mold.
No.
And it's funny because when we're young, that's all we want is we want to fit in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just want to fit in with the crowd. We want to fit in with the mold.
Yeah.
But then as you get older, you realize that's not what success is.
Yeah. No.
Success is being the outlier, being the original, the leader, the visionary.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's so true, man. 100%.
Yeah.